everybody, welcome to the Logan Power Show. It's me, your host, Calvin Logan, live here in Summerville, South Carolina. Well, I want you to be aware of what's going on. I got a lady with me. She's got a lot of fire built up in her. She's ready to launch out into the deep as she's running for District 5 here in North Charleston, South Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Althea White. How you doing, man?
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
I'm glad to have you here.
My name's Althea Hall-White. I give, quite a great deal of acclaim to my mother because I'm like a junior. My middle name is her first name, and she passed in April. And it's kind of threefold. I'm doing this for my mother and my father, who basically taught me all I know. And the reason I'm running primarily is because I'm seeing a great deal of things happen in the community where I was reared, grew up, and lived in the same house all my life, and that is in North Charleston, District 5, the Green Grove area. I'm a graduate of Barnes Wilson High School. Yay, Barnes! And Benedict College in Columbia, South Carolina, where I received a Bachelor of Science degree. Also the Citadel, where I received an MED, Master of Education, and Liberty University with a EDS. And I have a number of motivating factors that led me to get into politics, because I am not a politician. I am a people person. And my desire is to be a servant leader, be an advocate for the people in District 5. I think that's where we really need to be. Most people come into political office to be in political office, not to serve, and that's what I want to do, is serve. The election really does not come up until November 5th this year, and it is an off-season election, which is something most people don't really engage with. They only think of presidential election years, but off-season elections are probably the best elections because they actually are about the people in your local communities. And I know from whence I speak because I myself really was not aware of who represented District 5 until I had a need. And just not to say that I discount an opponent, but what I'm looking at is the mere fact that when you need someone, you need to have someone to call, and someone that can share information, provide you with the information you need. And I just felt that there was enough missing in the community, and all of the communities of District 5, not just those of my interest and my concern, but every area of the city of North Charleston in District 5. District 5 is bounded by Rourke Street, which is between Dorchester Road and Azalea Drive. It encompasses all the areas on Azalea Drive all the way to Leeds Avenue. It goes across 526 to Faber Place, then back up 526 to Dorchester Road, and it heads north. When it gets to Dorchester Road, it goes all the way up to Evanston Estates. It then goes across the street, picks up everything on the right side, and comes all the way back down Dorchester Road, again picking up other areas, Wando Woods and those areas in there. And I decided that I want to actually walk the area, and I've got time to do it now. I want to visit with people. I want to listen to them. I want to find out what their concerns are, what their needs are for their communities are. It's somewhat of an elderly community. People have, I think, from what I've seen, taken advantage of those who are less fortunate, and even the elderly, because they don't really communicate digitally. Electronics or digital communication is just not something that they do. They still believe in face-to-face, a handshake, a conversation. And this is what I plan to do, create conversations around their needs. And then go back and try to identify areas within the city framework where I might be able to share information that would help them satisfy some of the needs they may have. When you have a pothole, you don't sit there and watch the pothole get bigger. You got somebody to call, and hopefully that person will be me. And then you look at the fact that many of the communities, as I was saying, they're not digitally engaged. So being able to identify maybe a kid in the area the community, like this young lady that was just here, who has great ideas. We could get kids in to do those referrals and get that information into the city so that pothole doesn't get bigger, but it gets filled. So you can get trees trimmed. It's nice to have sidewalks, but when they become or they are in disrepair, you got to be able to contact somebody to get that taken care of. When you think in terms of that area, the whole area that I'm talking about, which is District 5, it's unique in that there was a time when I know growing up on 8 Mile, as they used to call it, now it's Green Grove, we had, would you believe this? We had chickens. We had a pig. It was country. Now it's city. But at that time, you had people that were actually owning their own homes. We didn't have a lot of what's going on now. The city is coming up with a prime plan of revitalization and improvement and development. But I want to know, for the people of District 5, where are we in that plan? What is going to happen to us? Are we a part of that plan? Will we benefit from that plan? These are the questions I think that should be asked. Right now, I didn't bring my phone in with me, but if you go to the Charleston website and look up PRIME, P-R-I-M-E, you'll find that they're already having meetings. Now, you probably may not know about this, and of course, the people who are not digitally connected, they don't know, and they probably will not know, so they won't make those meetings. They won't find out about what's going to happen with properties in certain areas. What's going to become a part of eminent domain, where the city comes in and actually says, I want your property and we're going to do this. When you look at that entire area, District 5, it is 10 minutes, 15 minutes from everything. If you live in District 5, your property is very valuable. Very valuable. And I just don't want to see, I'd like to be able to help people realize the value of their hard work or their parents' hard work. When you're 10 minutes from downtown, 10 minutes from the airport, 10 minutes from shopping, 30 minutes from the beach, you're in between two freeways, 526 and 26, or the main thoroughfare when they all get blocked, Dorchester Road. Now that says to me that somebody's really interested in that area. And then when I looked at the stats and I looked at how that particular area breaks out, it's 20% other. It's I think 47% African American and 32 or 3% white. So what does that tell you? If we go out and vote, we can make changes in the city of North Charleston. But unless we register, unless we vote on an off-year election, grandma, grandpa, uncles, aunties, cousins, auntie, mama, sister, cousins, everybody, we've got to vote. And I'm calling on my students, my former graduates of Stall High School, West Ashley High School. Okay, if you live in North Charleston, you either know me as Coach White, Ms. White, your assistant principal, or you know me in some capacity from church and the choir, working with the youth at church. You've seen me, you know me, and I'm about the business of making sure that you inherit what is rightfully yours. Mm-hmm. And that is what your parents, your grandparents, and maybe even their parents have set up and provided. We cannot allow the community, no matter where that community is, no matter what your color, no matter what your gender, no matter who you are, just know whose you are, and realize that there's somebody willing to help you, somebody who will be there when you call. If you don't get me, I'll call you back. But there is somebody that if you call, he's right there. And he's going to be there. And he's always with us. But to move into where I really want to be, I want your vote. I want your vote. I want to serve you. I want to serve the community. As there's a statement or ism I picked up from somebody, and I think, let me see if I can remember. It goes like, uh, passion is the gateway to purpose, and my desire is to be purposeful in the remainder of my years. Not to stay in council for the rest of my life, but again, as I've always done, prepare somebody to follow. And I've spent my 30 years in education, and I still work in education on a 501c basis, whereas I assist kids in helping them to identify their careers and career choices. And I was also a career technology educator. So again, it's about our youth, but it's also about what we've created for them and making sure that they make decisions or are placed in a position where they can make decisions about how their lives may turn out based on their performance, knowing full well that they actually earned the right. You've earned it. That's there. Let's allow them to realize it and enjoy it. The fruits of our labor is about all we have, and people work very, very hard to acquire it. So, in sum total, I ask you to vote Althea Hall-White, North Charleston, District 5, City Council. August 5th, we declare. August 10th, I'll be getting back to you. There will be a rally. I'm trying to decide exactly where, but everybody, all will be invited, and we'll put that information out there for you. Questions, comments?
Alrighty.
I'm ready.
Miss White was she reached out to me, want to get on the Logan Power Show, and like I said, we're back down this road again, ladies and gentlemen, where we're trying to put the right people in office. We do have a lot of things to be done here in North Charleston, South Carolina. I don't know about you, but I can't talk about nationwide, worldwide. I ain't dealing with my own community, and I'm a big advocate for my community. People can testify to that. I don't brush no horn. I live in my community. I'm active in my community when it comes to volunteering, from sports to in the classroom. People know who I am on my block, on my street. Now, I may not be known all the way in Zimbabwe, but I'm known in my area, from my kids' school to my neighborhood. And I can tell you what my neighborhood needs. And what I want people to understand this is that North Charleston has a lot of work to do. Very prosperous area. North Charleston is number one when it comes to GDP, when it talks about making money in the state of South Carolina. They're number one. The mayor of North Charleston is number one when it comes to highest paid out of any mayor in the state of South Carolina. But North Charleston, 9 of the 10 failing schools are in North Charleston, South Carolina.
May I add something there?
Sure.
You know, everybody complains about schools, right? Communities, if you look at the word, it's common unity. If you don't know now, we need to, and I'm not trying to go back, and I'm not trying to go old school. We need to be ever present in our neighborhoods, making sure that we know our neighbors, making sure that they know us. We need to be encouraging to our children. We need to make sure that we are their advocates. I used to tell parents all the time, I'm your biggest advocate for your child in school. But if I call you, I need you to advocate for your child, because nobody's going to advocate for your child like you. Nobody's going to get what that child needs but you. I can guide them, but when I call you, know it's serious. And we've done a number of programs even. But again, great neighborhoods create great schools. And when our neighborhoods are allowed to eviscerate, disappear, go by the wayside, become gentrified, schools go with it. It's amazing how when the demographics change, the new buildings go up. When the demographics, think about it, when the demographics change, the new school buildings go up. When the demographics are at their low point, we are erased.
I understand the importance she's talking about. You know, we do need the right people in office. One question, and definitely the final question for yourself: once you become the next city council member, and you're on the board of the great panel, is what I call it. What are a couple things you want to see different happen that you want to see done for this area?
Well, we operate from a strong mayor position. We don't have a city manager, so he's the last word. But what I do know, that there's power in the people, and I do know that if our neighborhood chair people are provided with the kinds of information they need about budgets, where the money is, what pot is available, who has grant money over here, and they have assistance in writing and preparing those grants to get that money, we'll see improvement. Because what's happening is the money's there, but if you ride around the city, and I've driven the district, you have poor lighting, but I dare send you to other parts of the city. Let's just, for instance, Park Circle. Look like daytime. Now, you can go back on Lupine Street. You can't see your hand in front of your face. You go over in Faber Place. You can't see your hand in front of your face. You go over to Everson Estates. A lot of lights out over there. You go over to, I think, Woodlawn, the trailer park over there. Same thing. Ashley Shores, gone. Now it's a venue for open, by the water expression. So, in essence, I want to make sure that every neighborhood chairperson has every piece of information they need in order to be able to access everything that the city has to offer, not just to some, but for all. Because if you know, and there's a difference between knowing what's available to you and not knowing. Because nobody ever told you that this is available. I learned this in a school environment, school situation. I wanted to redo a gym over at Heart Gap, okay? And they kept telling me, no, they won't do it. They're not going to fix that gym. And I was like, really? And I had the boss tell me, nah, they're not going to do that. Well, you can try, but they're not going to do that. Okay, fine. So I called up, found out where the money was, and I asked them if the money was still available, and they told me nobody requested it. And the reason nobody requested it is because nobody knew about it. So I asked for it. I got new hardwood floors, everything was painted, the logos, the whole nine. That's because I went after the money. I would have kids, we had a full laundry room, we had washer, dryer, refrigerator. I'd have people from out on the island, they'd come in, and I'd be sitting down talking to them about the possibilities of us acquiring certain items, donated. And I'd bring the kids in to sit with me while we were in negotiation, because I wanted them to see how business is done. How you get this done. Okay? I'm not begging. I'm showing you what we're producing so that the outcome will benefit us all. And that made a difference. We got everything we ever wanted. Track shoes. Had a kid, never had a pair of track shoes before. Had a company donate him, and he wouldn't even put them on until it was time for a race. I mean, these are the kinds of things kids remember their first. Okay? And as the older generation, we need to make sure they have a lot of firsts. A lot of firsts. A lot of firsts. So, I guess I've probably taken up too much of your time, man.
No, man. You've been a blessing, Miss White. We thank you for coming.
God bless you.
And we claim when you get the opportunity to go, it's going to change the environment. But And what I wouldn't tell people too is we gotta stop saying this is our first. I get tired because it's the first African American, the first Hispanic, the first woman. It's gonna say, let's bring about change and keep it going year after year after year. See, if I've been getting my first pair of track shoes, I'm gonna definitely honor those. But if the coach recognizes my talent, they're gonna make sure I get track shoes every year because I want my feet fresh. Because the potential is gonna be I'm gonna give back thousands of track shoes for the kids that come behind me. That's when you recognize vision and you're not so caught up in this is my first time. If you say this is the time that this is the first kid ever had a good hot meal, then all they can remember is that first hot meal. But if I give it a hot meal every time, because change happened, then I'm saying I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna get a whole school hot meals for the rest of their lives. So this is what I claim for North Charleston and people who are watching me across the globe. I don't want us to be the first lady in District 5 who got a vision for change. I want the person behind her, that Joshua person, to say, you know what, Miss White, I'm going to take what you've given me after your time is up, and I'm going to run with it.
Amen.
And once we do that, and we learn how to pass the baton to the next person behind you, then you won't say, we only had it for a short stint of time, and the only person who did it was Miss White. No. Miss White was grooming the next generation to rise up. And when you young people realize you start making some real noise, then the older generation gonna start listening to you. Because now you got the power for change, the power to make an impact, and that's what I want y'all to do, is to make an impact. So with that being said, I thank y'all for listening to the Logan Power Show. We're changing the global conversation. November, give Miss White an opportunity in District 5. My thing about it is it's a heckified thing for a game changer to come in and then we miss the mark. And we pray Miss White gonna do it 4 years again and run again in 2023. And next thing you know, Miss White say, well, you know, maybe I don't want to deal with that no more because, you know, y'all don't see it. But if you give Miss White a chance in 2019, in 2023, she gonna have this next person up.
Amen.
When the next person is up, and she been grooming them from 2019 to 2022. When 2023 comes, Miss White gonna say, that's the next person that's gonna take my spot. And when we do that, I promise you, your life is gonna change. That's all the time I got. My name is Calvin on the Logan Power Show, nationwide, worldwide. We're changing the global conversation. We love you. We'll see you next week.
Bye.